He's the ultimate threat producer, he's a rapper, he's a songwriter, a record executive, and a clothing designer. He was one of the most influential people in 2005. His lyrics have been sung by renowned artists like Alicia Keys and Usher. And his raps can move you, they can inspire you, they can even make you drop out of college. His attention-grabbing outbursts have given him this villainous status. But despite his unconventional ways, he's one of the most successful rap artists of our time. Please welcome Kanye West. I love the glasses.
Yeah, I can't see too much. I'm not okay.
Well, I'm glad you're in your full attire.
Well, I always like to, stand out, look fresh, which is how I do.
Well, today we're going to talk about, your entire life, starting at the beginning, really, of your career at least. You attended Chicago State University for 1 year in hopes to study art. And I was just wondering, before you dropped out, you were hoping to pursue this passion. So how do you use that artistic capabilities like today in your career?
Well, I try and transfer that to my music, to my videos, to my style. I don't consider myself just a musician. I'm a media mogul. I do everything. I got a clothing line. I've been producing for Jay-Z. I've been producing for Alicia Keys, and not just that, Carrie Hilson. I go to all genres of music. I'm not just a rapper. I'm a lot more than a rapper. So yeah, I try and use it for everything.
Your father as well. He was an award-winning photographer. Did he inspire you at all in terms of art? Is that why you got into it?
Well, a little bit. Me and my pops don't get along so well. He left my mother when we were at a young age. So, that was hard on me. Growing up in Chicago after moving from Atlanta. Being a Southern boy, it was a little tough on me. But yeah, he helped me. He's really artistic. He likes to take photography and stuff. And I think you can see that in my music videos. Like they kind of stand out. I spend a lot of money on my videos. I think it's more than just the music. It's your whole image. And as you can see, my image kind of stands out.
It does. But further on, after you dropped out of college, you decided to pursue your music career. So back in 2002, you were on your way home from a recording session in Los Angeles, and you got in quite a horrific accident. You broke your jaw, and you claimed to have said, that this was the best thing that can happen to a rapper. Do you think that without this accident, you would be so successful, you'd be so passionate about your craft?
Well, I still think I'd have the success. I'm great, so people are still gonna love me no matter what. But the accident, it really inspired me. It helped me make music that was more real. Everybody goes around with this gangster image and everything, but my mom she was a professor of English. So, I'm pretty literate. You can see that in my lyrics. I talk about stuff that's real, and it really helped me. Let me give you a clip from Through the Wire. It gave me some strength. It starts like this. It goes. It's just me talking about me in the hospital. When I first got the braces on and stuff, I couldn't eat anything solid and stuff. So I try and talk to my fans about stuff like that. So I just had a little bit too much to drink, I think, but I'm doing all right. So I drink a Boost for breakfast and Insha for dessert. Somebody order pancakes, me I just drink the scissor.
It was a great album. I definitely loved it. One of your most popular songs was Stronger, and one of the lines in the song is that would don't kill me, can only make me stronger. Do you think that was one of the events?
Yeah, definitely. I take every minute that I'm alive. I take that seriously because I almost lost my life. Being on my deathbed, sitting there, my moms didn't know if I was going to be okay. My girl didn't know if I was going to be okay. I didn't even know if I was going to be okay. I didn't know if I was going to ever be able to rap again. So now every time I go into the studio, I try to make it count. I try to make sure when I rap, people want to listen. It makes a difference.
You do make people want to listen by collaborating with a bunch of different musical talents. Who is your best collaboration you've worked with thus far?
Shit, I gotta say Jay-Z. Jig is the king, man. Working with Jay-Z, everyone kind of feels intimidated, but I wasn't really intimidated. I started off on his label producing for him. I produced a lot of his albums that are some of the best albums ever, and I was behind all that. So, working with Jay-Z was just the best opportunity I ever had. Recently, I had the chance to expand. I've worked with some musicians like Carrie Hilson and stuff, not the traditional kind of music. And I worked with, you know, Lil Wayne and Eminem lately. That was pretty crazy. That's crazy dudes, man. Like, it was pretty crazy up in there. Like,
there was also, it's funny, P. Diddy talked about a little bit, he spoke out at one point about February 27th, 2005.
That's my day.
That was
That's
your
my
day in Chicago. Do you think that was the pinnacle of your success?
Yeah, I don't know if that was the pinnacle. I'd say the pinnacle for me was when I beat 50 Cent out. You know, we had a little contest going on. You know, he said he was going to retire from music if he didn't outsell me in 1 week, and holla, your boy outsold him, you know. But he didn't retire. He's still doing his thing. But I think we all know he's #1 here. So I'd say that was my pinnacle.
And also, I mean, you spoke creatively. You spoke a lot about your mother's death on your 4th album, 808s and Heartbreak. What was the most inspirational, best advice you got from her? You received from her?
Actually, you know, starting off, my mother, she really didn't want me to drop out of university. You know, she was, being as an English professor herself, you know, she really thought that college was the ticket to a good career. But I told her I wasn't learning anything at university. I mean, it was slowing me down. I mean, I was already selling my beats to producers in Chicago. I was already making it big, and I felt the time I was spending in class was a waste. I mean, what did you learn in school? Like, did that help you get to where you are? I mean,
I would presume so. I would hope so, eventually.
Did they teach you how to interview, or are you just doing it like? I mean,
well, yeah, actually, it's really funny. Way back, we had to do somewhat of a celebrity interview.
Oh, yeah.
It was staged and set up. It was a little nerve-wracking, but you know, I would say this is a little bit more nerve-wracking than anything.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty big shit. So.
One of your, also with your 808s and Heartbreak CD, you spoke about your breakup with Alexis Pfeiffer, and things ended with her in 2008. And then 2009, you emerged with Amber Rose, who's this absolutely gorgeous supermodel.
Yeah.
Are we going to hear about talks of love or anything like that on the like an upcoming record at all?
I'm going to try and keep it real on my next record. 808's Heartbreak. You know, I had a lot of feelings going on at that time. I mean, I've been with Alexis for a long time. It was really hard for me because she was there with me before the deal, you know? Like my song Gold Digger talks about, how can I trust anybody now? How do I know they love me for being Kanye rather than for the money, you know, for the chains, for the expensive cars? You know, like, she was with me before, so I knew that was real. So when that ended, that was really hard for me. So a lot of my emotions come through on that album. You know, losing my mother to plastic surgery, you know, that was hard for me. She was a big inspiration because, you know, my father left me when I was young. So she was a big part of my life, and you know, I'm going to try and keep it real. I'm going to go back to the studio. It takes time for greatness. I'm great.
Well, I mean, people don't necessarily agree with your greatness. I mean, there was...
Oh, who doesn't agree with that? Please, tell me.
There was the incident with Taylor Swift at the most recent VMAs.
Yeah.
But that's not your first time. There was actually a couple other incidents back in 2004 at the American Music Awards.
You know, when I lost that wasn't justified. I mean, my music video was so much better, just like Beyonce was better than Taylor Swift. And I mean, granted, I was out of line coming up on stage and saying that. I had a little bit to drink that night too. I'm not gonna lie, but you know, I think greatness needs to be recognized, and I think it's a ripoff.
But don't you regret these outbursts? Because don't you feel as if you're losing fans somewhat in this way?
My true fans are gonna listen to me no matter what. I mean, if it gives me a bad image in the public, I mean, I can't control what the public thinks of me. I'm just doing me. I'm just being.
But what did you expect to gain standing up on stage, just kind of yelling? I mean, the votes have been casted, the board is going to be given. What did you really expect?
Well, you know, after working with Jay-Z and stuff, I really thought Beyonce deserved that award. I mean, Taylor Swift was just on the music scene. Beyonce's video was one of the greatest videos of all time. How can you not recognize that? Is it because she's black? I mean, I know George Bush don't like black people, but...
Well, I mean, one of the other things is, you say, you know, George Bush didn't care about black people.
He don't. I mean, you see what happened with Katrina. He didn't send no help. You got black people there to die.
Right, but I mean, you're somewhat of an advocate for the black people, is what you say. You performed at the Live Aid concert for Africa. What do you hope to accomplish as an advocate?
You know, I hope to show that black people can do just as much as white people can do. I mean, I didn't graduate from college. I mean, I got the dropout teddy bear right on my shirt right now. Look where I'm at. Like, I want to show that black people can do everything a white man can do, and you know, seeing Obama as president now, after just hearing from Michelle Obama too, I mean, things are going in the right direction now.
You say they're going in the right direction, yeah. But you were just voted actually by NME.com the villain of the year.
I mean, I think all these people are. You know, these people coming out trying to say something about me. I don't even know who they are. These people don't know me.
But do you think that's an accurate portrayal? Like, how would you counter that then? How would you change that? Do you feel as if you sort of portray that image?
Look at this. Every other rapper's out there talking about gangsters, talking about selling drugs, talking about prostitutes, pimps, all this. I'm out there making real music. Jesus walks. I'm out there giving a positive image for the kids. I mean, everybody slips up sometimes. You know, when the paparazzi's taking pictures of me, sometimes I just snap. You know, I can only take so much. I mean, that's why I turn to alcohol sometimes. But you know, I think I give a good image for kids. You know, I'm someone who's not afraid to say what's on my mind. I'm someone who puts everything into my work, and that's what kids need to do.
By putting everything into your work,
Yeah.
what have you been working on recently? What can we expect from Kanye and 4v?
Well, you know what? I've been in the studio since 808's been out. You know, I've been doing some work, but I really need something to happen to me in my life for me to make an album. Like after my car crash, you know, I was able to make an album about that. I was able to vent my emotions through that. After, you know, my mother's death, after my breakup, so I was able to vent that and turn that into music. So, you know, it's gonna take some time as things happen. You know, you're gonna see something great from me in the next couple of years.
Okay. Well, that's all we have time for today. Let's thank Kanye West for being here.